All right, good morning, everybody. I call this Public Works meeting of August 6th to order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Is there any additions or changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Okay. All in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Now we're moving on to the minutes from July 9th. Why, thank you. All right. I have a motion and support. All in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving on to our first limited public comment. Everybody in the room seems like they got a briefing spot, so I think we'll move on. All right, we move on to agency reports. First up is Matt from the Road Commission.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm back again, whether you like it or not. So I think in the packet, I got same kind of stuff that I normally go through here, but in the packet, you should have had a map, and then I think a project list, and then just a summary of kind of what we're doing this year, and hopefully where we're at anyway. Would it be possible to move down the agenda? Because my write-up that I read off of, I gotta have some email to me apparently. I do apologize.
Ben's trying to get there.
Yeah, but it's not the map. You guys don't have my write-up. It's just my thing I go through. Yeah, I gotta have somebody email it to me, so if I can just be delayed. Oops, sorry. Is that okay for? Hopefully 10 minutes and I'll be able to get it. Sorry about that.
Okay, all right, so then, technical difficulties on the road commission, so we'll have to move them back. So that would put us at construction codes.
Morning, everybody. I don't have a whole lot to report. We did 3 conditional use permits last month. We did, staff and Chairman Mott and Controller's Office met with the townships, the 11 townships. We went over a drafted contract. We're gonna meet again on August 26th for more discussions. And Brady and I are in communications with the townships as far as they've been talking to their attorneys and what changes they would like to see in that contract. So hopefully on the 26th, we can have something solid to bring to the board. Other than that, unless you guys have questions for me, I'm good.
When are you still at 15,000 across all 11?
As of right now, yes.
What kind of feedback are they giving you about I know some townships with lower population think maybe should be not quite straight across.
I'm not gonna say any of them are fans of it, but they all understand
Track,
where
yeah.
we're coming from. We don't have the exact numbers we need. We're working with the controller's office, so that'll be the max. It could be a little bit less, but we're proposing it at $15,000.
It's still, at whatever final number will be, all 11.
Yes, it'll be even across all 11.
You
Yeah,
wouldn't determine on history how many
No,
issues came in from each township?
yeah, Brandy and I looked at that. We've looked at other avenues and, it's really just,
Okay,
it's too hard to make it work right and be completely fair, I guess, if that's the good way to put it. So, but we are having those discussions because some of the townships have asked us for
Yeah,
that
right.
information. So, I'm not completely striking it out,
okay,
okay?
yep, Thank you.
Are the applications for building permits on residential, about the same as they were in 2024?
No, we're down a little bit. I, I know we had 10 new home permits last month, which was probably the highest month this year. A lot of it has to do with last year, there's a subdivision in Potterville they've been building homes in, and they haven't really built any this year because they've been building roads to expand. So that has slowed down our new homes. I would say we're on average, maybe just a little bit below without a subdivision. Okay? We do have a lot of commercial work, which helps.
Okay, I'm surprised on commercial.
Yeah, I am too, but.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just a few updates. We are looking at moving forward with the rural electronics program, purchasing the trailer in the final quarter, and we're looking at rollout by the end of the year, where we're going to have about once a month an electronics trailer parked at our either mobile recycling centers or various events and other centers around the county to collect electronics. And the idea is, over time, we may be able to phase out some of those costly events with electronics collection. So we're looking forward to that this quarter. And another development, I'm sure you've heard about it from Eric Daly, the Technology Services Director. We've been working with Chad Powers and finding a solution for internal electronics recycling with Green Earth Environmental. And the department's really happy with the way that went. Being able to reduce costs across 3 departments is an incredible accomplishment. The SWOL, Solid Waste Ordinance licensing, no updates, just 9 licenses. We are in reporting season, and the department is currently receiving reports from our licensed haulers. There are a couple that are in non-compliance, but the department's in contact with them, working with them to get their paperwork in for compliance. Anyone that's non-compliant, we will be asking the board for a hearing, and the department hope it doesn't come to that, and we'll be able to work with our licensed haulers and get them into compliance. We have our county project on our county projects. We have our event on this Saturday, Recycle Palooza. We're doing marketing and promotion, flyers, social media posts, cross-organizational promotion, and newsprint advertisements. A lot of this was done with the help of Logan Bailey. And we also had an article in the Flashes about some of our programs, which is really exciting too. So with the event, we have over 20 volunteers, and as of this morning, we have over 750 registrations. So we're right in our goal. Again, this event's in Charlotte, and we have over 2,000 tires registered. So we're looking really good on the numbers there, and we're excited to get through the event this weekend. Other updates, it's reporting season. We reported to Eagle for our infrastructure grant, and we reported over 20,000 pounds of materials have been diverted with our mobile recycling program since August 2024. And participation remains steady, and we are looking to grow the program out in Eaton Rapids and do more education and outreach with the city and some of the surrounding townships. For hub and spoke development, materials are coming in really good. We just sold off a shipment of cardboard. We're going to be shipping out a truckload of plastics PEAT #1s, and we're also getting ready to sell a load of ag plastic. So the ag plastic program has been growing a bit, and we were recently in talks with Washtenaw Conservation District about about our ag plastic recycling programs. So we'll keep you updated on any sort of partnership. And again, with the ag plastic, we are charging, unfortunately, farmers about 8 cents a pound to bring the plastics in. And we bale them and ship them out to manufacturers. So there are some costs associated with out-of-county participation. Education-wise, as stated before, with Eaton Rapids, we're looking to use some of the SWAG grant funds to develop and print educational materials to promote that program, because with the mobile recycling program, the more participation we have, the more materials we get, the higher sales we get, which will help offset some of the costs of the program. So it's really important, if we do go to a selected location, that it is well attended and we are bringing in some of those materials. So we're looking forward to working with Eaton Rapids on that. And finally, the materials management plan. We are approved for the grant contract for the work, or we're approved for the grant, the planning grant for the materials management plan. However, we have not received the contract. And so this month in August, our committee meeting has been canceled due to lack of business. And we're hoping in September, we're going to have our grant contract signed and ready to go, and which is really important for the department and the county to move forward with this process. So we're looking forward to that next month, having the contract signed and moving forward with the planning process.
I was wondering back here on the mobile recycling, the 20,000 pounds, is that just from the mobile or
Yeah,
just that and no other types of collections then?
nope, just taking the trailer out to some of the communities,
Right.
Vermontville, Eaton Rapids, and Bellevue. Yep.
So do you monitor that inbound or when you outbound when you take it from the trailer? Or how does that?
Typically, historically, most reporting is only done if you're legally obligated, and what historically Eagle required was outbound or sales, what's going out.
Gotcha.
And so internally, a lot of recycling centers didn't have the mechanisms in place to see what's coming from where. And with the new materials management plan, we're going to have more requirements with tracking materials. And so we've been developing systems at Sunfield Recycling Center. So we weigh everything from every community, so we know fluctuations in plastics and glass from all these communities over the last year now that the program's been running. So we've developed systems that we'd like to implement in other areas too, for collections and keeping track of the data and materials.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, Commissioner.
So I have a crazy off-the-wall question. You said that you have approximately 2,000 tires registered to take in at the Recycle-Palooza this weekend. What do you do with those tires after you collect them?
So we are working with Eagle-approved vendors, and those vendors will do anything from washing and chipping them, and they may end up as a football stadium AstroTurf, or if you've noticed in some of the parks that are being developed with our county parks grant, a lot of those materials, especially in Vermontville, so used tires will end up in playgrounds as mulch. And beyond that, those are the two primary uses that we know that our vendors are using them for. And there are other uses, but for us, that's our understanding of what's being made of the tires.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, first, what is ag plastic?
Agricultural plastic is a lot of material that is used in the agricultural industry, such as silage tarps. There's a lot of wrap, so when farmers get pallets of feed, they're wrapped with saran wrap. We work with EJ's International that does, out in Sunfield, that does a lot of unwrapping of pallets, so we get a lot of their pallet wrap. And then greenhouse film is also very common. So greenhouse film needs to be replaced every 5 to 8 years because of degradation from sunlight and weathering. So farmers will change their greenhouse plastic. And we're currently looking at whether or not we can take drip tape. So again, if we want to take materials, we have to find a buyer. And so irrigation lines are something we're looking into to being able to take from farmers, because a lot of the times the agricultural drip tape is only used for 1 or 2 years and then landfilled. So we're trying to see if there's a in market for the drip tape in the area.
I was just wondering. Thanks for your explanation. The next one is your electronics costs. So when you first started, we were charging like, what, 25 cents a pound or something? Is that right?
For
Or to recycle electronics, like, scanners and whatever.
Yeah, we were working with Valley City previously, and with Valley City, we had much higher expenses, and so we were asking for a $10 donation for heavier items. If you imagine, those big tube TVs weigh well over 50 pounds, probably 100 pounds, and so a lot of those materials we'd get charged higher for, and so we would ask a suggested donation of $10 for large items. And we're continuing that tradition, but with our new contract, we had an RFP last year, and Shupan is our new vendor for electronics recycling, and their costs are significantly lower than Valley City trying to get into the market. So we've seen some reduced costs with the electronics recycling, but there is an associated cost, so we do still ask a suggested donation, but the department, we've never turned anyone away who did not donate for electronics.
If people have monitors like this here,
Mm-hmm.
or the TVs, that everybody's getting, the flat screens and stuff. So those are like $10 donations, or were they 20? They're not 25 cents a pound anymore, then?
No, we don't weigh them when our residents come out and drop them off at our events. They're all weighed at the very end, and then we get an invoice from the vendor with a breakdown of what different electronics were given to us. So we don't have the mechanisms to charge people directly unless we had a scale. So it's just a loose suggested donation.
Okay, thank you. Weren't they putting Roundup tires also in like road resurfacing at the time?
I'm sure for concrete and asphalt, they use a lot of filler. Even with our glass vendors, we found glass, if you recycle it, a lot of the times it'll get made into filler for roads in concrete. So driving down the road, you see it shimmy a little bit. That's glass, recycled glass in the concrete.
I'm sure Matt can give us an update on that question here. So,
Yep.
Thanks, Jared.
Yep, you're welcome.
Jared, on that electronics recycling, you said you were going to expand it. Are you going to need additional equipment or anything?
We do have currently a grant with Eagle, and with that grant, we're going to be able to purchase our trailer and some additional equipment. So we're going to need an industrial scale because we will be weighing and taking data on the materials we're bringing in. So the grant will cover most of the cost. There is a 20% match in the grant, which the department does have to cover for the expenses. So we're going to be purchasing a trailer, a scale, and some other equipment like the large material boxes. They're called Gaylords, and those can be costly too. So all of that materials through the Eagle grant will be able to be purchased this quarter.
So are these events going to, you said you're going to locate them at the other recycling events. Are they going to be held like on the same day?
Yeah. So we're looking at bringing the mobile recycling trailer and the electronics trailer to the same locations at the same time, except for the electronics trailer, probably just once a month instead of weekly, like we're doing the recycling trailer.
But you only have one prime mover? You only have one truck, right?
We have a truck and a Tahoe, so.
Okay,
Yep, we'll be able to haul
all right.
materials, yep.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Then we'll move on to Parks and Rec, and then we'll circle back to Road Commission, so. I don't know, Chad or you?
Ethan's here. So,
Or-
real quick, while he's making his way up here, I'll just note that staff did meet with the city of Grand Ledge on July 9th, and we discussed the water treatment plant construction, and we did work with GIS, Ethan did, to develop a map, and that's included in your packet. That's the map they'll be putting on their website, and that will be posted in some areas of the park, so people know where all those construction areas are. The work group met in July. Ethan and I met with people from the DNR Trust Fund at Crandall Park on the 15th. A couple of them had never been to the park, so we took them around the park and showed them the park. Chad met with a bunch of consulting firms last week to discuss bids for the new entrance off from Flanders. And then tomorrow, Chad and I are meeting with Berry County in reference to that Thornapple Trail we've talked about before. And I will turn it over to Chad.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'll give, it's not in the packet here, but I've got the Parks Operations update for this month. We have several things going on, ongoing projects. Which one do you got first there on the pictures there, Ben? Down. Oh, sorry, down.
He wants the stairs, so the one with all the wood, Ben. That one.
There. So I'll start with that one, and that's the stairway at the Ledges Trail. Pretty interesting talking to the construction crew. They've got started with the foundations, and what you see built there out of 2x4s is a mock-up. They did a full-scale template of the stairs in order to get their foundations, kind of built it in reverse. Because normally when you build a deck, or if you have a two-story house, you put the post in and then you build, right? Well, when you have a 30-degree slope, it's a little more challenging to get those exactly where they need to be without, so they built the full-scale mock-up, and then they can plumb down to where each footing goes. There's 32 footing foundations to support that. So pretty interesting concept how he chose to do that. I was pretty impressed with that. They temporaried all that stuff in and then got the foundations in, and then they'll start building the permanent structure here over the next couple weeks. So, and then moving on to the Optimus Park, we got a new sign installed last month. A lot of cleanup from the storms, the tornado that went through. It was just a mess there, so we got that all cleaned up. We demoed the vault toilets that were old and needed to be updated, and eventually we plan to put toilets similar to what's at Crandall. Right now we have just a porta john for the usage that we get out there is pretty limited right now. So, and then relocated the gate. It's a little different now. It allows us to get in and out of there better with the mow trailer rather than right on Kinsel Highway there. Then Keeney Park, we demoed about 250 feet of that boardwalk that we were able to do here this summer. And then the plan is to keep moving on it during the winter once it freezes up. But that at least stops the traffic. They'll have to go through the water to get to it and eliminate the vandalism that we've been experiencing out there. Nothing's really happened in the last year, but I suspect that people are still going back there but this at least alleviates that a little bit. They've got to swim a little bit if they want to get back there now. So, but more to come on that later in the year. And then Claudine mentioned, that's the construction area at Fitzgerald, outlining the wastewater plant expansion. To the south there along the river, that's our stairway project that we have barricaded off. And then over to the west there, just adjacent to the ball fields, is kind of a laydown area where the construction crews are using. So, and part of my consulting with the engineers is to get that a secondary entrance in there. I'd like to do that here before winter, and I think that's going to be pretty feasible to, even if it's gravel, we can get park goers away from the construction traffic, so we don't have that going on at the same time. That'll be really helpful. Other than that, staffing, we're starting to lose seasonal staff. It's that time of year when kids go back to school and so forth. So we will begin losing them. We'll be down a few more here in the next couple weeks, and then we'll be looking at our fall and winter seasonal crews that we typically put on. And then just along with staffing, and we've in the maintenance and operations, we made hired a parks, the foreman, there, I can get it out, that handles a lot of the seasonals. Then we had a resignation and replaced a staff member on the maintenance team, and Ben and the crew have done amazing. They've really moved the needle as far as a lot of these projects that we needed to get going, and I'm pleased with that. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions before Ethan gives his update.
Have any questions? Yes, Commissioner.
Chad, I was out to the art fair this last weekend with someone from Grand Ledge, and they were asking me questions because they want to do like a family reunion. And I showed them how many more pavilions have been built, and they were quite surprised. Are all of those able to be rented?
Yes.
Because they're different sizes. So
Yep.
do we rent based on the size of them, or how?
Yeah, I think that Ethan can answer that, but yes, there's different price ranges. Some of them have electricity, some of them don't, some of them, so he could talk more about that. But yeah, they all can be rented, and that's through currently through a call-in system to our parks office. We're actually, and Ethan might talk about that, we're looking at trying to get an online system to where people can reserve it online, and just a little more modern rental system for that, so it doesn't tie up staff time, and then they can do it right online, and that's, a lot of places do that now, so.
Yep, I walked them around and showed them, and I go,
I was there too, I didn't see you though.
oh, no, I didn't buy anything. But my point is, I walked them around to show them the different pavilions, because they really weren't aware that we had choices out there, you know, other than the big one there by the steps that you're doing, and the other one that's like right at the end of a park, a major parking lot. Go, oh, yeah, we've been adding. So, thank you.
Brian? Excuse me, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Chad. Thanks for your report.
Morning.
What's the plan for the Thornapple Trail? You're going to meet with Barry County. Are we going to pave that the rest of the way into Nashville?
I don't have that answer right now, we're gonna talk about it.
My understanding is there's some kind of grant program through the state of Michigan that allows for school.
It's Safe Routes to Schools grant.
Yes, that's the one.
That's been my suggestion all along, is that the school system or somebody from the community goes that avenue to try and get it paved, but the county administrator has asked us for a meeting, so we are meeting with them.
Barry County Administrator.
Yes.
All right. Okay, and then to follow up with that, I don't get out there very often, but the last time I was out there a few months ago, I actually, when I finished my walk, I could hear what sounded like a small motorcycle, and here's this guy coming by on a mini bike on that trail, just a hauling. How do we put in a big enough chicane to keep that nonsense out?
I'm open to suggestions. I mean, some people you just can't can't deter. I mean, we have that, you know, similar situation at Fox with people with dogs. There's signs everywhere, don't bring your dogs, and they still do it. That's the only park that we ask not to bring dogs because of the size, and they still do it. I think you saw the other day, so maybe there's a way we can put a gate somehow that they can't get in there, but they'll find a way around it.
Well, now that we've got the funding, maybe we should start looking at nice cameras to put out there, at least, because this guy had no helmet on. His face was right out there for the whole world to see, so maybe a camera and some disciplinary action. So, and then you already talked about the locks at Crandall, so. Thank you, Chad.
You're welcome.
Yeah, yes, Commissioner.
This is for all of you. Was at a ribbon cutting in Delta Township for a pathway Tuesday, and we were told by some people from the Tri-County Bike Association that they have gotten rid of Safe Routes to School grant. That's not in the proposed budget at this point anymore. So you might want to watch for that.
Good to know.
Okay, thank you very much, Chad. Thank you. All right, circling back. Oh, yes, Ethan.
Morning, Commissioners. So, last part of our report, the events and programming update. So, our summer adventure program, we're currently in the last week of that. That'll be ending this Thursday as kids start heading back to school. One employee from that camp will be switching back over to the operations side of things and working with Ben. Then ongoing projects, we've ordered a 3-sided kiosk from Poly Products that will be going out to Crandall. Hopefully the estimated delivery is August 12th, so we'll have that in by the end of the month, and we can start putting information up regarding fishing, park rules, etc. 2 of the 4 monitors have been installed at the new Lincoln Brick Nature Center. We're still waiting on 2 to come in, but once those are in, the finishing touches should be put in pretty quick, and hopefully we'll have that open by the end of September. Then also in Lincoln Brick, our forester that we've been working with through National Capital Forestry has been out and about marking trees for our select harvest. The estimated harvest date for that will be late October, early November. And the whole purpose of that is really to create a healthier forest ecosystem and also just prevent big blowdowns from happening. We've had a lot of pretty intense storms the past couple of years, and by doing this, we're going to be improving the overall health and preventing the amount of work that our team has to do cleanup-wise when one of these storms does happen. And then we're also working with the Old Growth Forest Network to get a community forest designation on Lincoln Brick Park. So it's like our commitment to make sure that this property is managed correctly and that we're doing our due diligence when we have a logger come in and remove some trees. Then preparations have begun for the pumpkin chuck. This will be our 2nd year doing this. It'll be on November 1st. It's a great way for families to get rid of their old pumpkins from the fall season. And we'll have food trucks and a whole bunch of other community participation going on there. And then we've also been clearing out brush around the ruins at Lincoln Brick Park. So per our strategic plan, the goal with that space is to make it so the public can get more of an up-close and personal look at that history. So we're just cutting the brush back and making it so it's safer and easier for everyone to get back there and check that out. Upcoming events tonight, we'll have our rec trailer at the Grand Ledge Library for their summer reading program finale. That'll be from 5 to 7. And then Friday, we will be at the Upstream with a Paddle from 5 to 8 with our recreational trailer as well as a booth. just talking about the parks. And then we also have some photos in here from some of the past events that we did this month. So you can see that we've got some pictures from our car show, as well as the partnership that we had with Relief Michigan for their big tree hunt. We also participated at the Charlotte Library Summer in the Park series and the Charlotte Acoustic Music Festival. So, any questions?
Any questions?
I would like to make a comment. Ethan, I want to let you know that was really a nice art fair, art and craft fair, festival, whatever, there at the park this weekend. The parking was wonderful. The way you had it set up so that people could be parking in different spots now.
Yeah.
And that's what I also put out on Facebook, that it was really well organized. The amount of booths were expanded so much this year, even from last year. So I think that was a good move to move it from the island to Fitzgerald Park.
Yeah, I wish I could take more credit for that, but that event is primarily put on by Ledgecraft Lanes. Stephanie, she does a great job with that event every single year, and yeah, they have a really good team.
You can take it back to Stephanie then.
Yeah,
We spent
yeah,
a couple hours there with all those booths.
yeah, yeah. Awesome,
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much, Ethan.
awesome, thank you.
Matt, are you ready?
We'll see. I apologize, and I appreciate you accommodating my lack of preparedness, I guess. I'll address the few things that did come up, because I was writing them down before you even asked about the tires, so you beat me to it. There are some projects that have used ground-up tires and actually liquefied rubber from tires in asphalt. The problem is there's not a consistent study. One county will do something, another county will do something else. Eagle's kind of involved, but kind of not really, and so I think the county or statewide, we're trying to come up with a program or a plan to study, okay, what's the best way to do it? Because some people say, yeah, it worked great, some people like it fell apart in a year, and so there's no consistent results to determine if that makes sense or not, so. But it is happening. I've seen on like logging trails in different areas around the country where they've used them as lightweight fill. If they're going through a swamp or something under a road, so I don't know if that'll work. I'm probably gonna look at it at a spot just out of curiosity and see if it's an option. I don't know the availability. That's half of it. If it's a very small market, it may be hard to get and it may be very expensive. So but there are some options for tires, and that they're looking at anyway. I believe Safe Routes to School is still a program, but it's combined with the TAP program as well. So it's Safe Routes to School / Transportation Alternatives Program, I think. That's the last I understood. But it's combined, so they're competing. It's not just for the schools, they're competing with everybody statewide, so I don't know how many schools are really getting funding
Because
through
part
that
of that
program.
pathway there in Delta and St. Joe obviously had money from Safe Routes to School.
It was TAP, so that's the thing, is it's combined, so that was through TAP. We've done 2 Safe Routes to School projects. One was the trail, the Thornapple Trail. The part that we did was Safe Routes to School, and then Waverly Schools had one done at their Winans Elementary 15 years ago or whatever it was, so that's the only 2 that we've done at the Road Commission. Because the transportation funding has to come through us, even though it's not our project. We're still the administrators of it, and we have to manage it and make sure it gets spent correctly and all that stuff, so. Then the day we're responsible, but really not our project, so. Okay, I just wanted to address those things before I forgot. I wrote them down real quick, and then I'll go through my quick deal. As I said, you guys have a map and a list and just a summary of what we have going on. I'll just give you a quick rundown. Our federal aid projects, we have a multiple bridge preventative maintenance. It was Bunker, Waverly, Mulliken, and Angel Road. Bunker, Waverly, and Mulliken are done. Those are open. Angel Road is supposed to start about the 18th of this month and take 6 to 7 weeks, because that's a lot worse bridge and it's gonna take a lot more work, so. Angel Road, there's not a real good detour route around that, but nothing you can do about that. It's gotta be repaired, can't just let it fall in the river. 5 Point through Creepy Swamp, so Mauer to Matthews, it's expected to begin this fall. They're gonna surcharge it, so that's something good to do in the winter. So it'll be closed through the winter, and then in the spring, once the surcharge is done, then they can do the reconstruct and get that done, so. I don't know when it'll be done, I don't know exactly when it's gonna start, but that's the plan. It's kind of been delayed for permitting. Apparently we have to go through EPA, because it's a big, fancy, nice wetland or something. So we have to go through EPA, which is taking a little bit, so. And then Bellevue Highway, the resurfacing from Marshall Road all the way to Brookfield, that's supposed to be done in the next couple weeks. If you've been out there, this first 4 miles from Marshall to Cochrane are done. I think it turned out real well. There's some slopes we need to address. The road was so bad in spots that the outside of the asphalt ended up being 6 to 8 inches higher, which ended up being a lot of gravel on the outside edge. So we have to do some slope restoration, things like that. So if anybody gets calls about that, we are aware and we're gonna correct it. Oh, what other big projects we have here? We have Mount Hope from Canal to Kreitz. We're gonna resurface that. It's probably gonna be about the end of August. Kreitz from I-496 to Saginaw, we're gonna do an ultra-thin overlay, which is only like 3/4 of an inch of special asphalt mix. It's not regular asphalt. Yeah, we've never done one, so that was a good section to do it on to see how it holds up, so we know if we can do more in the future and have a successful project. And then Nixon from Davis to Mount Hope, that is underway. That's, they're currently doing the rolling surcharge. There's an area of peat and poor soils that's like 25 feet deep. They overload it, which pushes the peat out from under it, and they dig the peat out and haul it away. So that's currently going on. That's gonna take a while. They're probably gonna get from Davis to Sundance done and back to gravel before this winter. They probably won't pave that section, and then the next section they may work through the winter if weather's good. The whole thing won't be done until probably June of next year by the time they get the whole thing paved and whatever, but that's part of the MEDC funding for the battery plant. There's no road commission funding going into that at all. Chip seal's almost done countywide, so I don't know exactly. On the map, there's highlighted ones, but there's a few more that have been done since the map was created. The millage, all regravel expected to be done by the middle of September. Most of it is done. Carr Brothers is finishing up, and they're not real fast. Crandall came in a bunch of trucks, and they hammered it out pretty quick. Carr's a little bit slower, but it is what it is. Probably 65% done with all the paving, the subdivisions. They're working on the curbs, working on the manholes, and they paved some of the roads, but they're still working on the subdivisions up in mostly Delta Township. There's a couple subs down in Eaton Township, I think. And the second application, dust control, should start the middle of this month. Non-millage on local roads, we chip sealed 6.5 miles through contracts with Hamlin Township, 50/50 cost sharing with Hamlin Township and Oneida Township, so that's good. And we also did about 0.8 miles of private road chip seal. Hopefully it turned out okay. I haven't heard anything, so. We had 2 county drain culverts were replacing this year, Island Highway, which that one's done, I believe, and then Arch Road over in Eaton Rapids Township. The island is in Eaton Township. It was failing, and we were gonna chip seal the road, so we wanted to get that done. We're looking at some other ones on Kelly Highway and Stevens Highway. These are done through the agreement that we've set up with the drain office, where they provide size, invert, depth, whatever they're interested in, and then saves us from having to go through the Eagle process. We essentially replace it for the drain office under their permitting powers and replacement, which is different than what we can do. So it's worked out pretty good so far. There's some other ones we need to work on, but slowly getting there. Safety, so I think last time I mentioned that we doubled up some stop ahead signs, doubled up some stop signs, added reflective strips. You guys may have seen them in spots around the county. They've been out for 6 months-ish. And I looked at the data, and the crashes are down quite a bit, but it's very, very short data set. So don't say, yeah, that works great. Matt said it works great. It seems like it may be working, but again, it's only been 6 months. You got to give it a year or two to really see. But so far, it's encouraging that maybe adding those reflectives. To me, the reflective strips really jump. So that second sign, plus having those strips on the post, it's something that really jumps out. So hopefully that will continue to show that they're working well. The Jolly Road end, where people drive down there way too fast and then go on the river. We're working on that. We're gonna probably add some additional barrels. I'm gonna remove the guardrail. The guardrail, I think, is actually a problem. That's not what it's designed for. I think it could potentially launch people into the river. I'm not saying that's what's happened, but that actually needs to be removed and put barrels in there. I think it's better if somebody goes in the river, they go in like this rather than going in head over heels after they hit the guardrail or something. So that's a plan. And if you notice, we've been painting weight edge line on all of our primaries. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, but my predecessor wasn't interested. He said, drive me crazy, you go from Eaton County into another county and they got white edge line, it pops so much better. So as we do a chip seal and a paving project, things like that, we're adding the white edge line as we go. So you'll start to see that at some point, all the primary roads will have white edge line on them. Staffing, I do have a director of engineering finally, it's only been a couple months, so that's why I'm still behind on everything, but I feel better. I feel like I have more time to do some things and start to get caught up on some things. So his name's Eric Daring. If you guys run across him, that's who it is, and he used to work for me a long time ago, and I talked him into coming back. So we're still looking for engineering technician and a mechanic, so anybody knows anybody interested or looking, send them our way. And then lastly, the drain assessments. We met with Ben and Melissa a couple different times, and so I think we have a plan going forward to have everything caught up, everything paid up, including the bank intercounty drain, by October of this year. So, so we'll be all caught up. We're behind a couple years on the drain assessments. Because of the way the 14As were calculated and things like that, but I think we've got Ben and Melissa and we have a pretty good understanding. I think we got a way to go forward here now. And then the bank, we're gonna pay our assessment. Our fund balance is higher than I would like it, because I haven't had a director of engineering. We've had a hard time getting projects out the door that are allocated. So our fund balance is higher than I would like. So we delayed some equipment replacements and move some funding around because projects won't be done this year, and then had sufficient money to actually pay that whole thing. So otherwise, we're paying $4 million of interest over the next 20 years, whatever it was. So it saves us $4 million over 20 years. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and hopefully moving forward, depending on how big they are, we're gonna start paying them off as we get them rather than paying them over the 20 years, whatever kind of projects they are, whatever drains they are. So really depends on how much the total assessment is. Normally, we wouldn't be able to pay a $5 million drain assessment up front. We're just in a position now where we could do that, so. I ran through that very quickly because I was late, so I appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your report, Matt. Question. Smith, or Columbia Road between Waverly and M99. I know you chip sealed it, I get that, but when are we gonna improve that? That is a dark tunnel. It's narrow, and the sight line, when you're eastbound on Columbia and you have southbound traffic on Waverly to the east of or the west of the bridge, I've seen some close calls through there, and I don't get through there all that much.
It'll be between Waverly and Smith, you said?
Between Waverly and 99, basically. It's between two county seats, it should be a better road.
Yeah, I'll look at it. I don't, there's there's a lot of roads.
Oh, I know.
And I'm slowly getting to them and working on them. I don't know if you've been down 5 Point between Cochrane and Royston. That whole stretch, which is 6-7 miles, needs to be done as well. We're slowly working on Bellevue Highway. There's a lot of roads that need a lot of work, and that must be one of them. Up there.
And I get that you
maybe-
paved your portion and left the state portion alone on 99, but man, that turn from the northbound 99 onto eastbound Columbia is horrible. It's been patched and patched and patched, and I don't think the state would have, pardon?
The approach itself, or,
The approach itself,
okay.
coming from the south to go east, it's potholed like crazy. It's been cold patched. I'm sure that's part of the state property instead of county, but anyway, it's just annoying. Next question is, I understand all the visual items that we're putting up for these bad intersections, but when are we going to give rumble strips a try?
Probably not real quick.
Why not?
Because
I think the problem is people come up to those distracted. It's not that they don't know there's a stop sign or don't see it. They're not looking for it because they're looking at something else, radio, phone, whatever.
And that may be the case. I don't think you want to just go to rumble strips. I think what we've done at Stewart Island seems to have helped. Doesn't, at least I haven't heard about the number of significant accidents there used to be, so it seems to have helped. Like I said, some of these other things we've done seem to have helped. You're not gonna stop all the crashes no matter
I know.
what you put in there, so if, over a 10-year period, if 2 crashes result from somebody not stopping, does the people that live there want to listen to rumble strips for 10 years?
I live there. I don't mind hearing the rumble strips. I mean,
And I understand, but there's a lot of people, I know I wouldn't want them in front of my house.
I'd rather hear rumble strips than an accident.
They're noisy, and there's not, the other things, there's not real good data on whether or not they're effective or not. So,
Well, they must be effective or the state of Michigan wouldn't put them on our highways and the state roads.
on the edge lines,
They got them on the edge line on the highway and the center line on the state roads.
yeah, so yes, for center line and edge line, they've been proven to be successful. But for at stop-controlled intersections, there's no good data showing that they're effective, so.
Well, let's be part of that study and put them out and see how they work. Lastly, and I don't see your name on that list, but we received an email from a resident. I think this is the guy that is at Billwood, and I can't remember what the crossroad is that he lives on, his intersection.
Noah Ballard,
There you go. Yep. Did you receive that email?
possibly. When did you receive it?
He's very critical, and we can forward that to you. He's very critical of the road commission and their solution to his drainage. And I understand, he lives on the side of a hill, and it doesn't drain well. I get that. But I know this has been an ongoing issue for him, and I think there must be some solution. There must be. Whether it involves a drain commissioner or not, I'm not sure. I've been out there a couple times. It's not a great intersection for drainage, I see that, but I hope there's some kind of resolution we can reach for him here in the near future.
So part of his issue is caused by his driveways that he installed that were unpermitted. They're supposed to have culverts, and they're supposed to slope away from the road, and they both slope out. They're supposed to slope away from the road, they both slope up right from the edge of the road,
Okay.
and there's no culverts, so he's forcing the water down the edge of the road, which erodes the gravel, which ends up at the corner of his property. So that was his biggest concern in the past was the gravel that ended up in his yard. Now, lately, we've been getting pictures of, there's a water puddle here on the road, water puddle all over the place. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be water puddles on the road in different places around the county. We try to address them. Sometimes you can't. They go away in an hour. And so, the solution for the gravel is for me to send him a letter ordering him to remove his driveways and get a permit to install the correct driveways. I've explained that to him, and obviously he doesn't like that answer. I don't think there's anything I can even possibly do to solve what his perceived concern is. He lives outside of a gravel road. It really doesn't erode that bad. It's very little gravel that ends up there. So I'm not sure if there's anything I can do to solve his problem or not.
Well, if his unauthorized installation of a driveway without a culvert is an issue, or at least adds to it, then what's our, what do we do to alleviate that?
So the road commission has the ability to require the removal of an unpermitted, whatever it is. So we send him a letter and order him to remove it. If he doesn't, we can remove it within 30 days, and then we work with the township. I haven't done it, so I don't know the exact process, but somehow we work with the township. They assess him for it, and then the township pays us for it, something like that.
Okay.
We're not looking to go that route, obviously. It's not necessarily good PR, but I don't know how to, I don't think there's anything, I don't think no matter what I do, he's gonna not have some issue with something is the way it feels, because we've tried and I've explained it to him, and he just doesn't want to hear anything. He just doesn't want the gravel at the corner of his property.
Okay, is he in Oneida Township? Or is that Windsor Township?
Royston and,
Billwood,
he's in, yeah, he'd be in Windsor.
Windsor, okay.
I think Royston's the township line, so,
All right, thanks, Matt.
yeah.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, since I'm from Delta, I've noticed that Point West was done, that subdivision. I guess I seen it Saturday. Why didn't they do where the condos were, the 2 streets for the condos?
You have to be more specific. I don't know Point West. and I don't know-
Roxburgh, and I don't know the other name. But the street that comes off of St. Joe, that and around there is done. New surface, but the 2 streets there that have the condos.
You're talking Municipal Way and Centurion and that?
No, you're in the wrong place. Point West is down there, the end of Upton Road.
Oh, okay.
That's gonna lead to my next question.
I guess I'd have to look. I'm not sure.
Okay. I was just wondering, I noticed that there was a new surface there.
The one at the south end of Upton,
Yeah,
across St. Joe and
Yeah.
Upton?
across St. Joe, yep.
Because we didn't pave that this year.
Okay, but the condos didn't get done. The 2 streets there by the holding pond didn't get done.
That may be the developer, so we get,
Oh.
because that's, I think, the newest section. I think I maybe know what we're talking about, the newest section. The developer gives us a letter of credit to make sure it gets paved sometime in the future.
Oh,
Because we don't want to pave it, build a brand new road, put the top course on, and then have all these contractors and construction equipment in there building houses on the brand new surface and beating it up. We'd rather have them beat up the next layer down,
yep.
and then after 5 years or whatever it takes, once they get most of the houses built, then they can top it.
Okay.
So that may be it, but I'll have to look. I'm not,
Okay, you're probably gonna get a letter pretty soon, because I didn't see any open lots in the 2 streets there that runs parallel to St. Joe.
okay.
I think they're all built up. I see you're doing Morgan Creek now. So, my question is, what more do we have to do on the very local subdivision roads? Are we gonna be done by the time we get the, new roads or the resurfaced roads done in Delta by the time it expires next year? No?
Yes. The mills will be complete next year. We're right on track to finish everything, so
Okay.
whatever has not been done will get done next year.
Okay, that's wonderful. Then, I happened to come back, Holt Road, cross M99 to Waverly last night. I don't even know if that's our road, but since you're standing there, I'll ask you. But by the, I would say, the tree farm, for the best of my words. Something went down Waverly Road. Is that part of ours? Because it really tore up the road on the 2-lane there, and to the point where I went off in the other way traffic to avoid not driving down that road. I mean, it tore it up. Is that in Eaton County?
No, luckily that's an Ingham County road.
Oh, okay, well, I'll
Our-
be happy to
Yeah,
go around the corner and talk to you.
jurisdiction changes at Columbia. So everything
Okay.
north of Columbia is Ingham, south of Columbia is Eaton County Road.
Okay, I just happened to come back that way from Holt last night. So, and then I'll, say thank you for the new stripes on Marketplace.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they pop back. Hopefully they stay longer too.
Okay,
that.
okay, Mark Mudray, Commissioner, and I both
Yep.
talked to you about it before, but I'm expecting come fall in those rainstorms when it's dark at night that I can get home.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Matt, I would like to, I am glad we are in the portion of the millage where my side of the county gets some love. So, just to let you know, the roads over there look good. My private road happened to be the private road you did over there. I would like to, tell you that all your workers were very, considerate to the people that live on that road, and answered questions and were able to explain stuff. So I thank you on that. My only complaint, oh, one other thing before I get to my bad side. Hey, whoever you have posting like, the daily work on Facebook, I typically share that, you know, like on the community pages. Excuse me. I've gotten a lot of compliments, you know, a lot of people in the community like that. So I would, whoever's doing that, I would encourage them to keep it up. You know, I know as we get into fall and stuff like that, you're really not gonna have anything to really tell the community besides, hey, we're plowing your road, to get the snow off of it. But, I would just say in the future, I encourage you to please keep on doing that. That way the public knows and can help everybody out, right?
That's just for when I was Jessica Raymond. I'll even call her by name just because she does a phenomenal job. I agree. I've given her the essentially freedom to kind of keep it updated, and then in the winter, if there's a slow day, not much going on, she can find there's the County Road Association will have things that you can post, and she goes to other counties and follows them, and oh, that'd be cool to share that or something. So she tries, even when there's not something, tries to post something. She's gone this week, I believe, so you might slow down for a week.
That's why I haven't seen nothing.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll get on your bad side now. So South Bradley Road, every time I do post something with the road commission, to notify the public, there is one person, who likes to complain about South Bradley Road, the culvert, and she says it's towards 5 Point. And, so if you could, she doesn't elaborate except to tell me that there's water over my road and the culvert don't work. So, you know, if you could just take that, a look at that, you know, at some point, especially before we get into the wet season, right? And,
Yep.
because that will help, the life of Bradley Road
Yep. Certainly.
if you do that, so.
Things that are good for us to know, so.
Yes, we got, Commissioner Mott.
I just want to say, good job on Bellevue Highway from Olivet to Brookfield Road. It did a great job. Did it in a timely manner, too. It's nice.
Very quick.
Yep, my sprayer never ran so nice.
The gravel's a little high in spots. We still need to do some slope restoration in areas, but
Yeah,
other than that, it's pretty much done.
yep, it's great. Great job.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Matt, Keith's comments reminded me of one thing, one question. On Vermontville Highway, just to the west of M99, at the bottom of that, where that swamp is, I was questioning, what does it take to raise the road so that no longer floods? Is it possible to raise that section of the road?
Yep, lightweight tires. No, I'm just kidding. And that, honestly, that's one of the spots that I've thought, well, maybe that'd be a spot to use it. So I looked at, tires are like a third of the weight as sand would be. And so that's kind of the theory is you put less weight in, it doesn't sink. I actually have a federal aid project that's gonna be in the tip for that section. Depending on what it takes to do that, that may end up getting pushed possibly. I think it's a 28 or 29 project, so it's a little ways out, so there's time to kind of figure out what to do. But yeah, that's the intent, is to get that to stop flooding and not be an issue, obviously. So there's ways to do it. We're doing it through, if we can do it through Creepy Swamp, we can definitely do it through there.
Yeah, well, yeah. Thank you. And then one other thing to address, Jeannie, about recycled tires into asphalt. Way back in the 90s, when I was driving truck, I used to deliver recycled rubber pellets into Spartan Asphalt for a test program to add to asphalt. And I was talking to one of the people there, and what they said was that the rubber, if you put too much in, it makes the road too flexible, and then it ruts. And so it's ideal for walking trails, driveways, something with light traffic, as Matt said, but it's lousy for a roadway with a lot of traffic. So the amount that they could put in and make it work is so minimal that it's almost not worth the effort. But I'm sure there's been advancements in the last 30 years that would help with that, but that's what I know about recycled rubber into asphalt.
That's, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was when they kind of first started it, right about that time. And it was bigger chunks of asphalt that they're putting in it. And that's the problem, is asphalt's springy and rock isn't. So now it's called crumb rubber they put in it, so it's a lot more shredded finely. And some of it, I think, melts, and so it kind of blends with the asphalt to offset some of that. So the rutting isn't as big of an issue anymore. It's some areas have had cracking almost immediately and things like that, so. Yeah, there definitely have been advancements, and they liquefy some of it now and mix it in and try that, and so.
Yeah, these that I took in were little pellets about the size of a Navy bean.
Yeah, now they're like sand.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner.
Can you tell me, Scipio Highway in Vermontville, so if you go down Vermontville, or if you go down 3rd Street, it turns into dirt, crosses Mason, is that us? Is that Road Commission?
Yes, yep.
Is there any way someone could go out there and check that area out? I personally have never been out there, but I've gotten calls about it. It's to the point right now where you can't get 2 vehicles down the street or the road at the same time. And if one tries to get over too far, they're going into a swamp area. And they're saying they're very concerned about this area.
Yep, that area, Mason, Valley, Kinsel, I can name a bunch of them that have the exact same issue, where it's a road going through a hill cut, and the water's no place to go other than run along the gravel. It washes out and then causes that problem. So, yeah, so we know there's multiple areas with that issue, and we've been slowly looking into how do we address these, how do you make them work without spending $100,000 on a 200-foot stretch that it's hard to do. So anything we do would probably take township participation, so we're trying to find something that would work and be reasonably cost-effective. But we don't have that answer yet. It's a hard answer. The easy answer is you hire a contractor to come out and reconstruct that section, but that's not really feasible.
Okay.
Okay, Matt. Thank you very much for coming in.
Apologize again for not being prepared.
All right, miscellaneous, we don't have anything? All right, limited comment, public comment, there's no public. There's actually nobody, so that moves us on to adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
All right,
Adjourn until the next meeting.
we are adjourned. Thank you very much.